Captain's Log, Episode 71. This week's episode of the Beer Avengers podcast is sponsored by the Beer and Cheese Collective, located at 35-11 Ditmars Boulevard in Astoria, Queens. Enjoy their eclectic array of craft beer, artisanal cheeses, and specialty grocery items at the Beer and Cheese Collective. On this week's Beercast, Captain Huck and the Beer Wonder have 5 great pours, reminisce over the moisture quantity of our respective Januaries, and other fun stuff. Please note that, due to a technical error, the sound quality of Captain Porter Brown Stout, that's me, is not up to our usual standards. I mean, you can hear what I'm saying, but don't worry, if you're a regular listener, it'll be better next time. Also, if you're new, you might want to sample some other episodes from our back catalog. Also, it'll be better next time. Remember to like, star, and subscribe whenever that feels appropriate. And send us your emails at thebeervengers@gmail.com if you have any questions, suggestions, or if you just like hearing us talk about you on the show. And now, without further ado, please enjoy episode 71. How many syllables, Mario?
Well, with a beer Avengers, beer Avengers, beer Avengers, with a beer Avengers.
Nice. Welcome to the Beercast, everyone. Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Astoria, Queens. I am Captain Porter Brown Stout.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in the biggest little city in the world, Fresno, California, it is I, the Pale Male Hophead Huck.
And coming to you from an undisclosed location in the County of Kings, it is I, the Beer Wonder.
And we are
the Beer Vengers.
Ooh,
nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Little it's like in a round. It was like a round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end.
Very musical, as the kids might say. They wouldn't say that.
Who knew you could have so many variations with 4 syllables or 3? The beer. No, yeah, I'm sorry. You see, I haven't even started. I haven't even started drinking yet, and I can't count syllables. 3 syllables. The beer. No, 4. I was right the first time. 4 syllables. I don't know. Clearly, I need beer to think properly.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Do you want to welcome the nice people, though, Captain?
Oh yeah, I think I should.
Hello.
I know. I was so entranced by our own vocal stylings. Yeah. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Beercast. We're back once again. The 3 of us. We're doing. I guess you would call this one of our happy hour editions.
It's day drinking.
Yeah, it is day drinking on February 1st. So whatever some of you were doing with January, it's time to jump back into the deep end of the pool for a wet February. And we're going to help guide you through that, aren't we?
Speaking of wet, I do want to check in because as close followers of the Beer Avengers may know, there was some wetness happening the last time we did a little beer cast together. And if I do recall, our dear Hophead Huck had an incident that was recorded on our social media where the waters started to come in and then the darkness came at the very, very end. So, Huck, what happened and how are you doing?
I'm fine. Actually, the night was really amazing because I was cooking dinner at the same time I was doing the podcast for my mother-in-law, and I had finished all the cooking. I had the table set. I came back in. I said, "Well, let me make sure these guys are still doing the podcast." And you were, and I came in right at the right time to play the theme song. As soon as I came in, the power went out, so we ate in the darkness. But it was all done. It was great timing as far as blackouts go.
Yeah, it was
4 hours.
My recollection is the power went out right before that. Once again, those last 4 syllables.
Exactly.
5. And so it was really very dramatic watching the video. If you haven't seen that on our Instagram page, I think that's still there.
And by the way, what is our Instagram page, Captain?
It's at the Beer Avengers. Pretty much anything is at the Beer Avengers. You got to make sure you put the in there. If there's not a the. I don't know what's going to turn up on your thing, but the Beer Avengers is us.
It's only 3 syllables if you don't have the. You have to get that 4th one in there.
Exactly. You need all 4 syllables. And now we've brought that all full circle. And I have a feeling over the course of the next hour we will be figuring out more and more ways to reference that hour, whatever it is. Who knows? But it hasn't really started yet, has it? I mean,
No,
what we're doing, because
Nope.
we haven't gotten to the pores yet.
no.
All right, well
Very
then let's
important.
do that. Let us get to the
Yeah,
pores
yeah,
and get and start dampening up our February.
yeah.
Now, yeah.
I,
Great.
um,
Now I know that the Beer Wonder has been experiencing a what did you call it? A moist January.
Yeah, that
damp.
moist January. Isn't it?
Yes,
Damp. It was
moist,
just
damp
damp.
January. We'll get in more
Now
into
that
that later.
now that we're in February, I think maybe you should start us off since you haven't
Wait,
had
me?
a proper pour at home lately.
All right,
Oh,
yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
well,
Why don't? Yes, it would only be
oh my.
polite.
It would only be. Oh my. Well, I am so honored, and to the shock and awe of every beer venger out there, today I will be drinking a.
Sponsored pour.
Yep,
It's
one of those.
sponsored pour from the Beer and Cheese Collective, 35-11 Ditmars Boulevard in Astoria, Queens.
Exactly. Mama knows and Mama will provide when you ask. And let me tell you, she got me a great one from a favorite brewery here in the county of Kings. In fact, it is the Kings County Brewers Collective. You might have heard of them. And
Also known as KCBC.
Also known as KCBC, yes. And KCBC is known for their wacky beers and their wackier can art. And this one definitely lives up to it. Today, I am drinking the Reservoir Frogs Double IPA, and it's just worth it. I mean, I can't wait for the beer, but the can art is pretty epic.
Fantastic, yeah.
It is all kinds of different frogs. It is sparkly. It is shiny. And the beer is also no slouch, coming in at 8%. So, as they
Very
always say
good.
on the can, store cold and drink fresh. So let's do it.
Excellent.
Right on. Let's take a
I
look.
almost want to hear the theme song. Yeah. Doom, doo, doo, doo,
Yeah, yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
All right. Oh my
I hope
gosh.
get sued for copyright for that. Oh wow, that looks great.
It is a hazy for sure, and the head is just jumping up. I mean, I've got
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
it's an epic beer. Let's get that in there so you guys can really check out that can art on the Instagrams,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good you went first, so you can let the head subside a little bit.
I know it's
That's
gonna take
something.
it's gonna take a hot second because we got like 2 inches here. We're gonna give it a moment. All right. Well, while I let this
Live.
it is alive. Should we go in order of time? Since it is 4:00
Well,
here in Gotham, should we let Huck go next?
Sounds good
I
to
don't
me.
understand the way you framed it, but I'm happy to have that happen. Yeah.
Well,
This is my
technically,
lunchtime. It was
he's
4, now it's because we're in the same time. Now we're going back in time. Then we're coming back to our time. So no,
exactly
I'm all
because
for it. I want to see what Huck has.
technically it's earlier for him. Anyway, just go ahead, Huck.
Well, I have a beer. I'm trying to stay with the theme of doing my local beers, and I've got a
Mhm.
beer from a brewery called Incinerati.
Oh,
And Incinerati is here in Clovis, which is our sister town next door. Going down to Clovis tonight, but Incinerati Brewing.
Mm.
And this is called Too Weird to Live.
Oh
Also
my!
has really dark and freaky can art, which is also a theme here we have here
I
in
know.
Perez. And a black top as well.
Oh,
Very
Another
nice.
theme. And so Too Weird to Live also for Fish and Chips fans. That was one of our songs. Too Weird, man. Let's get a crack on this.
oh, good one.
A little soft there. I've got my Finback Harmony glass. Let's take a look. Now this is a cold IPA.
Okay.
So expecting some clarity here.
One would hope.
I guess it's as cold IPAs go. It should be like a hoppy lager.
Yeah.
Nice looking golden straw color to it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous head on that, big and fluffy.
Got a nice ABV of 7.7%. So
Okay.
looking forward to trying that.
Gorgeous. All right.
That
Captain.
leaves.
All right. Well, I too have a
Sponsored pour.
That's right. I got a sponsored pour. Now, when I went to get our sponsored pours from the provider the other day, and I said, just get. I thought that Reservoir Frogs would be ideal for you.
Thank you. It was a great choice.
And left her to her own instinct, and she said this one. She actually gave me one that I haven't had in a while, but is one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's the Dino S'mores from Off Color Brewing.
Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah.
This one has been around for so long that the first time I saw it, I thought it was a novelty to have. I thought it was really interesting. I'd never seen anyone have beers that tasted like s'mores.
Mm-hmm.
That's no longer the case, obviously. But this is a classic one. In fact, I think the first stout of Palooza we had, our friend Nutpool liked this one the best of all of them.
I do recall. Yes, I do recall that moment.
Yeah. So this is I say yes. This is considered to be by their determines an imperial marshmallow stout. Comes in at 10.5% ABV. And here's the secret ingredients. I guess that's just their fancy word for adjuncts, since it's right there on the can.
Right.
Marshmallows, vanilla bean, molasses, graham flour, and cocoa nibs.
Oh, gotta get those cocoa nibs in there.
Absolutely. So like here we go. Here it is.
Oh yeah,
exactly what you'd expect. Nice healthy.
Them's the goods.
Looks like
yeah.
a s'mores. And
it
the
really
reflection
does.
on the glass is like the little fire that's the campfire that's burning the melting the marshmallow. It looks like a real marshmallowy, chocolatey head there. Yum yum. Let's drink up, eh?
Cheers, Beer Avengers.
Right. Cheers.
Cheer Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly as I remember. That's great.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Wait. Oh.
Is it a little too weird for you?
No, not this one. No.
Oh, good.
No, I was gonna say. It's so clear. It even through the camera, I can see just how clear it is, and it's got beautiful lacing, which is of course a tribute to your glassware. But are you getting a crispness from it? Does it have like a hoppy lager character? Or? Okay,
it does, but it also has a real tropical dankness in it. In that it's so you really get a vibe of the IPA, but you also get a crisp, lagery, bitter finish. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you the description here. Over a super light base of Pilsner malt and flaked corn. Interesting. I didn't pick up the corn yet. This hop showcases Citra Incognito in the whirlpool and is dry hopped with 4 pounds per barrel of Citra and Euconaut or Equinaut. Notes of vibrant citrus, sweet tropical fruits, and dank resin wash over the palate and stick there. A barely there malt body and hella clean lager fermentation allow the hops to shine front and center. So I think, been reading that is what I'm getting.
Yeah,
it's a good description of what this is. I definitely get a tropical, almost I get a little bit of it like a Jolly Rancher candy, just in the somewhere in the middle there.
Oh, that's kind of fun. I do love it when some of our favorite candies make an appearance in our beers.
And like I said, that bitter finish, it's like it hits all the notes. It's got sweetness. It's got tropical. It's dank. It's got a really resiny nose and that really bitter finish that I love. So that's a winner in Ciderati. Knocking it out of the park.
All right. Well, you're living in complexity land. I am too. And as I look at the side of the can, I realized why. This is a double dry hopped double IPA. The hops are Citra, Mosaic, and Motueka. So we've got a cool like New Zealand hop in there. And the adjuncts are barley, oats, wheat, and rye. So there's a lot happening here, and it definitely gives me like the lemon limey that I'd expect kind of from Citra or Mosaic, but there is kind of like a tropical spice character that's coming from the Motueka. But like the cool thing is that it's a very it's got this like creaminess, which I'm assuming is going to come from all the oats that are in there. And then ultimately there's this nice spicy kick at the very end, which I would imagine is from the rye as well. So it is a beer that takes you on a journey. You start in a lemon grove, you wind up on a tropical island, you lie down on a velvety blanket on the beach, and then you get punched in the face by a coconut. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with that as my journey. And it smells good too.
Excellent. Wow, 2 winners off the bat.
Captain.
It's no secret that I like this one. Since I said I hadn't had it in a while, but it's still just as good as ever. They also make a coffee version of this one, which I also enjoy very much. And looking at these ingredients, I'm trying to sort of like, as much as I've been railing a little bit against pastry stouts, I do enjoy them when they're well done. My main problem is sometimes some of them are way too sweet, and there's too many of them. So I'm trying to zero in on what it is I like about the ones I really like. And with this one, I think a big part of it, that molasses, I think does a lot, where they don't need to have like as much sugar in it. I don't think I even knew this had molasses in it before. But as far as the other stuff, the malts, there's a ton of malts in this thing. It's got
Yes.
pale Vienna, wheat, Cara 2, extra special.
Okay.
Flaked oats, dark chocolate, black and roasted barley.
Oh.
And the hops are nugget. That's the only hop. So like lots of malts and one hop. But I think the fact that it's chocolate malt means they're not relying too much on the cocoa nibs to have that chocolate flavor. It's like you have like in a real true chocolate porter chocolate stout. And the I don't know how much percentage of it is these adjuncts, but they're used to really the perfect degree. It's like it's not overly sweet, but it is desserty and really a wonderful beer.
Is this a collab beer?
I don't think so. I think it's just off color on their own. They have a couple like little like badges here on the side of the can where it says, but I think that's just like giving you some of the ideas of it. It's high gravity and chocolate.
Okay,
those are both in there. But I don't see another. It's considered imperial, but it doesn't say anything about any barrel aging. And it doesn't taste like it's barrel aged. It doesn't have that like whiskey flavor to it.
Yeah, because I'm looking on Untapped, and it says it's off color, and it says it's a Russian imperial, and then it's a collab with a Russian brewery.
I almost wonder if that's a different variant of it.
And then when I scroll down, there's a person, Craft Beer Frank is the first person to. He's enjoying.
Oh, we like it
at the Pony Bar.
Interesting.
In 2018, January 21st. Oh, but so are you.
Oh,
I got you here, January 7th. You guys maybe. Oh, those are different dates. You were having it. Not necessarily. Oh, you were at Story Beer and Cheese.
Yeah,
which is now known as the Beer and Cheese Collective.
That is
correct.
Unless I was at the other one, which I probably wasn't. It does say the one in Ditmars.
You also had it on January 24th, 2016.
It's a beer I like. Yeah.
I'm like getting your history here.
Like I haven't had in 6 or 7 years, maybe, but
I got one here. Also, a Belgian Babe had it in 2016. That's she got it again here, 2016. You like this beer?
I do, and so does Belgian Babe and Craft Beer Frank.
I actually just went on here to
and we also mentioned Nutpool as well. So this is a
say what you will about Nutpool.
Say what you will.
I was thinking about our girl there, Wheat Lightning too. So she sings our sponsored pour theme.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
the band back together.
Gang, you gotta get that band back together. It's my fault. I broke everybody up.
Yeah. Well, that's what we talk about every time we meet. Like motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. We cry into our beers, and the beers get salty. And a salty beer, unless that's what you're going for, is not quite what you're looking for.
No, unless it's a Goza.
Exactly. That's right. If it's what you're going for, then it's not what you're looking for. And a Goza is what you're going for.
Sure. That's a new take on a salt rim. Just actual tears. I think I have a coffee cup that I bought when Elizabeth Warren was running for president. It just says billionaire tears on it.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good. It's a pretty good mug. Yeah, and that seems like something that would come out of
the race. But yeah,
I always enjoyed the she's got a plan. Yeah, I always enjoyed the she's got a plan for that shirts that they would come out with when she was running. Yeah, I enjoyed her, and she's gotten snarky on social media recently, so I'm ready for that.
I see you and the Teddy seem to be getting along a little bit better than the last time. Since for those of you who are only listening, which is all of you, you don't see that there are two people participating. I don't know if Teddy is tasting this beer or not, but
No, he's not.
so
Yeah,
Yeah,
hops and dogs are not great.
We're back in love again. It's true.
all right.
Oh, and you might have heard some tongue, some licking that just happened there because I could hear it all the way through the internet. So perhaps our listeners
That's
at home
what
will.
It's like, what do they call it? ASMR, with you lick the microphone.
Yeah, I didn't know if the dog ASMR seems like it should be a thing. Get on that, and
we should
It probably is a thing.
copyright it.
we should get this podcast listed under ASMR now just to increase our reach because obviously ASMR people clearly want to hear us talking about beer.
Oh fuck yeah, my dude!
See,
Oh,
that's
fuck
ASMR
yeah.
right there. I got the tingles.
Yeah, we should just have that on a loop for half an hour. I do want to get back to something you mentioned, Huck, because I don't know where all our listeners are coming from. I mean, we see that most of them are from New York, with coming in a distant second, California and Massachusetts. So I know there are plenty of people who know your references. But in case anyone who's listening out there has not heard of Fish and Chips, you mentioned that the title of the beer was similar to a song by Fish and Chips. So we want to tell people what that is.
Oh, that's my band, my duo of 35 years, Fish and Chips. We've written the final tally is 91 songs, and I'm actually outperforming them on my own now. I have the aptly titled Mike Birch Band making its debut tonight.
Oh, very exciting!
I don't know if the name's going to stick, but Cider Girl is going to be singing with me, and we have a great drummer. We're just looking for a bass player, and I play the ukulele, of course. Fish and Chips is no longer because Mr. Fish, he decided to die, and I don't know if his decision. Well,
yeah, well,
it's debatable. But anyway, he's gone. God love him, but his music carries on through me. So hopefully, I'm doing it justice.
Do you have a web social media, etc. presence for that?
Yeah, you can check out our SoundCloud, Fish and Chips Music. There's lots of good stuff there. It's fairly unorganized, but it's a lot of good gems. Even our comedy too, our fake podcast that we made, which I find hilarious. I actually absolutely love it, but it really still makes me crack up. But it never. It's on the SoundCloud though, so check out check everything on there. It's great. It's Fish and Chips Music.
I will now have to find out what SoundCloud is.
I don't know if you have a link to it.
I bet we could put that on the social medias.
We could do that.
Which are of course all 4 syllables at the Beer Vengers. At the Beer Vengers. That's 5 syllables with the at.
Yeah. The at.
Actually,
the at's not a real syllable.
Fish and Chips, so just the N. Fish.
Okay.
And Chips.
And what was the name of the song that is like the name of the beer?
It's called Too Weird Man.
Too Weird Man. So, like, if anyone wants to actually go out and get this beer and have that beer while they're listening to that song, now they have the tools.
Now, this feels like we are curating a full experience, friends. This is going to be an unforgettable experience.
By the way, thanks for asking.
This is being a beer podcast. We are beer centric. Beer is at the center, but many things expand and extend from the center. Especially based on the last episode, if you heard that one.
Very true.
Between weather and dog psychology, I think we covered all sorts of things last time.
And Rick was a big beer guy. He lived in Burlington, Vermont, which is like
excellent beer town,
a beer mecca. And our favorite was Burlington Beer Company. I think I've had Burlington beer on the podcast before.
You have,
I believe, one of us has. I remember, was it recently? Somebody had one of the IPAs, I think, from Burlington, because they're getting more. Creatures of Magic, I think, was if you check the. But anyway, we used to go. I'd go and visit him, and his first thing he'd say, as soon as I get off the airplane, he'd be like, let's go to Burlington. Let's go to BBCO. And they actually have a really beautiful tap room they built downtown. So if you're ever in Burlington, I highly recommend Burlington Beer Company.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit before about we came up whatever degree of water or whatever degree of moisture you adhered to for the month of January. We are through it. And I'm thinking I might start at the beginning of every, including the cold open, just since every one of these episodes is a time capsule of its own sort, just to announce the date
That's
it
true.
was recorded.
Hmm.
And I'll, as we already said, this is February 1st, roughly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But so we're February. How was your January? How is your New Year going thus far?
Boy, that's a tough one. I've had a lot of been doing a lot of like holding off on starting my life actually.
Okay.
Well, see, I feel like January is a weird month because like you're in the depths of winter, like a new start. Everything else is just like I'm chilling. Okay, I'm gonna sleep right now. So Huck, I support your choices.
Yeah, so my new start is starting now,
Good.
February. So January was a little bit of a preparation for it. And like I was talking about the music, so I'm going to be playing more. I bought an actual amplifier, first time I ever
Oh,
bought one. So getting serious. And we're going to be playing some gigs around town
so how did you
with the new
find your
band. So,
band?
uh, well, actually, where I meet everybody at Goldstein's.
Okay.
Any friend I've made here, I've met at Goldstein's, which is a beer bar in the Tower District. Tower District here is kind of what would be like the Village, or the East
Okay.
Village
Hmm.
of New York. It's kind of the cool area.
It's like a
A
block.
lot of it's a few blocks. It's this Tower Theater, which has
Okay.
been there a long time. Is sort of the center of it, and it's got a tower on the top of it. And so the Tower District is pretty cool. Goldstein's is there. They have, I think they have over 30 taps. Maybe it might be 40.
Oh wow.
Uh, like 4 of them are CBD beverages,
Oh,
but beers. They have a lot of beers on tap. So I met a lot of beer people there, a lot of music people, and so I met this guy Ryan, and he and his wife actually live right around the corner here. Uh, Near us, walking distance from the house. So we just have become friends with them. And in doing so, he said, "You want to do some music together?" And we got lucky because he's really good. Like he's a
oh,
really
nice.
like top notch drummer. And then I entered this battle of the bands because we're doing a gig with Ryan tonight. It's an open mic, but we're gonna do like probably a half hour. And
Oh,
uh, and so the battle of the bands is tomorrow night. And my friend Paul, who runs the thing, he's got me on stage a lot. So I wanted to support him, and he couldn't find one of his bands dropped out. I said, I'll do a band, even though I don't have a band. I'll jump in. I'll throw something together. And I knew Ryan wasn't available, so I got another guy, this guy Cody, who's a drummer, and he's going to basically play cold with us tomorrow night. Um, but Cody's the first person I met in Fresno. Uh, and he saw me play my songs, and he was like, wow, those are really great, and really enjoyed the lyrics and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't have any friends in the city. And then I turned to him and said, until now.
oh, that's
We,
adorable.
We had
if
just met. Yeah.
if only I had some
So we did
saccharine
become
music to
friends,
underscore that with.
Wow,
but I've
wow,
met a
wow,
lot more
wow.
people since then. I probably told that story already on the podcast. If we rewind it,
It's possible, but
it's possible.
again,
That's what
presumably
old men do. They tell the same story over and over.
not everyone's listening to the podcast while they're driving to work. Some of them are doing it while they're drinking, which means that they will often
I remember.
we need to be told stories repeatedly.
Yes,
Uh,
there will be new memories. Oh no, I was gonna say. So yeah, I know
That's
you've been supporting the
that's
local
me.
beer scene, but yeah, I know you've been supporting the local band scene, but have there been any beer adventures or quality control, as I like to say, that you've been doing in the Fresno area?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because there's so many breweries, and I really haven't gone on any real like brewery crawls, especially in
Mhm.
Clovis, which is where where Incinerati is, and Crow and Wolf I've had on the show,
Mhm.
and Summer Fox. I'm going to Summer Fox tomorrow, and this one called Two Ravens where I'm going tonight.
Mhm.
So I've been to some of the breweries, but not all. There's one called Machine Head, and there's another one called Tactical Ops, and they're all
Mhm.
in Clovis. Not to mention Fresno has got a bunch of really good ones, but there's a beer bar nearby called Out of the Barrel, and they're
Okay.
a really nice beer bar as well. They're like just um, they're all about the beer. Like Goldstein's is like music, and it's a place where people hang out and stuff.
Mhm.
But Out of the Barrel is like it's in a mall, the Whole Foods mall, and Fig Garden Village, very nice mall, outdoors, of course. And
California.
yeah, out of the barrel, they have about 27 taps, and
Oh.
their selection is like primo. They always have stouts, they always have lagers, they always have a mead, a couple ciders, and you can get 4-ounce pours. And so, really cool place. And I told Brick and Cider Girl, to bring me there a couple weeks ago. And I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll run into somebody. And then as soon as we sat down, this other couple comes in, and it was my friend Jason, who's the head brewer of Graveview Brewing, who I think I've talked about. And I was like, hey, what's up? So we ended up hanging out there, and he told me about his brewery, because actually, all the coincidences, like the place I'm going tomorrow night for the Battle of the Bands is Summer Fox in Clovis. There's a Summer Fox Fresno, which is only 2 miles from here. I'm going to Clovis instead. And so Summer Fox Clovis, they have all this brewing equipment there, but they haven't brewed there because they brew here in Fresno. So Graveview has basically moved in to that tap room, and they're brewing. It's their brew house. So Graveview is going to be brewing at the Summer Fox Clovis, while Summer Fox Clovis is a tap room with Summer Fox beers. So hopefully I'll get a Graveview beer tomorrow night. I don't know. And he's been basically brewing. They haven't had a release yet. So they're working up to having a nice release. And again, I want to hopefully we'll have him on the show maybe closer to when they're releasing their beers. So they have a home, which is nice. And yeah, there you go. My life in Fresno. Most of the time, I just work on my palm trees. They need
have they fruited?
They do. I did not know this about palm trees.
Do they give you gifts?
The trees?
Yeah, like a coconut or a fig. I don't know.
No, they grow. They're called Queen's palms, and they grow a little fruit, which I guess kind of tastes like a sweet potato. I mean, they're for birds in Brazil. They're not for birds here, so no birds eat them, and no people eat them either. So they're completely useless, and they're massive, like bunches that grow. So you got to cut them. You got to cut them off.
Okay.
Before they bloom, because they're like they have these pods that are like the size of a fence post that can grow in the trees. And I don't know how they do it, because it's like their water. There's hardly any rain here, and it's like they grow these huge things. I mean, these palms are crazy. Well, what can I do? They're already here.
Exactly. What are you going to chop them down?
Deal with them. I mean, you can have them removed. You can have them removed.
That sounds like work,
that's
though.
Also a possibility. We should be planting oak trees.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I do like the whole idea, circling back a little bit to the whole notion of February 1st being New Year's resolution 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since we're still like sort of talking about January, I do want to hear like some sort of whatever lack of moisture that Beer Wonder experienced over the January, and how that went for you.
Yeah, so I decided, everyone's doing dry January, and I know I mentioned it a little bit in the last time we all got together, but I didn't really mention that I was doing a version of dry January, because there's no way I'm going to exist as a dry person. I am a beer avenger. It is part of our duty to ensure quality, right? It's
moist January then.
One would say moist. I would say damp.
Yeah. All right. Synonyms to be sure. Yeah.
A sprinkles, something like that.
Sprinkle January.
Yeah, and so I basically decided that
almost like sort of a golden shower January.
A golden shower of January. No, yes, exactly.
That's a different kind of January.
Yeah,
thing,
there might be compromat on that one. The Russians might be after me if I did that.
Yeah.
So
once again, don't Google this.
Yeah. But I basically decided that instead of, because I do have a lovely selection, as many beer vendors do, I'm sure, have a lovely selection of beers in their fridge that are part of probably your daily ritual. I decided to see what it would be like if I eschewed my typical evening beer and only chose to drink when I was with other people. So entirely social drinking, which has not been really a practice of mine, just to sort of see what that was like. And it was kind of delightful, because one of the things I noticed is I was seeing people more when I was forced to get my beer fix, not by myself. Like I actually saw other people and had drinks with other people and like really enjoyed that part of the experience. So I don't know that I will keep it up because there are quite a few really delicious beers in there calling my name. But it was sort of a fun thing to experiment with. And so for those of you who are doing a full dry January, I salute you. For those of you who did a damp January, or what we're going to call a moist January, rock on. I thought it was kind of a fun thing to get to do.
Well, very good.
Yeah, and I can see that that you're just like every night going, who can I spend time? Who can I hang out with tonight?
Exactly.
I gotta see somebody. I gotta see some people.
When the way you got to get your beer is because you're with another physical human being, it's kind of who is also going to drink with you. Like there's something kind of cool about that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, so it was sort of just an experiment. We're not going to keep on with that because there are too many good beers in my fridge that I would like to drink now. Thank you. But yeah, I kind of made that as a rule for myself. It was a fun experience. I definitely noticed I slept a little bit better. People say that my skin is better. That is a damn lie. So all the benefits I'm sure you got, and I know that the CDC just came out with a whole thing about how much we're all not supposed to drink now, but I thought it was kind of a fun experiment to go after. I don't know. You have thoughts on that, Huck?
No, I was saying, I know that a friend of mine used to say, well, I only take my wedding ring off when I'm doing the dishes. And so we had this whole concept where he would be going out to the club with a tub of dishes,
Oh, I see.
He's going to the dog park with with the dishes, and like, hey, no ring here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just saw that.
It's a good image. I like it. So, but as
yeah,
a part
of that concept of being with people is actually really should do that all the time. I mean, I do like to have a beer at home here and there, but I'm also with my spouse, so or the dog.
Well, drinking with your dog, I feel like is a good choice. Yeah, I mean, don't give them the beer.
Yeah, well, I drink alone though.
Yeah, well, and
but
with nobody else.
I've definitely done similar things like that, where I'm like, my way of cutting back on drinking for a period of time is not to drink alone for whatever a period of time, and it's a good way of cutting back, I think. Like only social drinking.
Yeah, and it's a good way of seeing people too. I often refer to January as my depression month because in Gotham it is cold, and when it became the depression month was especially in 2021 when we were meeting up and recording regularly, but like I had gotten a very early dose of the vaccine and the rest of the world had not quite gotten there yet, and so I was like walking around my neighborhood at night to go for a walk looking at like stores that said things like, hey, so we're going to be closed for the next 3 months. There's just nothing happening. And so it was like sad and indoor times. And so the commitment to like not making January my depression month has sort of been a place for me. And so this was actually kind of a fun way to go about that and try out this dry January thing that everybody speaks so highly of.
Or at least dip your toe in the not too deep water.
It's just step on the moist sponge.
Yeah,
moist sponge. It's just damp on the bottom of your foot.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Yeah. So
it's metaphors.
I know it's just getting even worse, and we've said moist so many times that I think we've earned our explicit rating at this point.
Oh, is moist on the list? I mean, I know some people have some weird, strange aversion to it, but I mean, it's not like we're talking about vaginas.
I know. Well, people hate the word moist. I don't know, but
some people do. It's one of those weird things. Like it's like some people think that cilantro tastes like soap. It's all its own thing. Some people
I don't know if you're having a good cupcake, or you want it, or a carrot cake or something. You want it to be moist.
You too.
Yeah.
Damp.
Yes. Absolutely.
You don't want it dry. That's
yeah.
Same thing with vaginas.
Now we've heard that rating you're talking about.
There we go. Thank you, Huck. I needed someone to really push it over the edge, and I knew I could count on one of you two to do it for me. Since apparently I'm the arbiter of politeness. Anyway, but as part of,
you want them moist.
As part of the dampness that was January, there were a couple fun things that like where I was in places where I drank with people, but one of them was actually fairly recently when I met up with the captain at our favorite, the Pony Bar, because we had to just verify that it was still there.
So before we get to all of that, because this actually speaks to the degree of moisture in my January.
Mhm.
But before I get to that, my degree of moisture right now seems to have dried up.
Oh,
So
it's a desert.
I need to get a little more. I need to get
Oh
All right,
no.
second pour from
So
the
here we
captain.
go.
All right,
This is a
second
beer.
pour.
Now, as soon as I saw this at my grocery store, I'd actually seen it on Instagram. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is going home with me. Just for the can
Nice.
art alone. This is from our friends at Five Boroughs in
Love them.
conjunction with City League, which is a Brooklyn coffee place.
Oh, cool.
And they made and it's called it's a horchata cold brew coffee stout.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and there we have it. You guys recognize that
Oh,
logo?
it's the Greek coffee cup, right?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
look
that
at
coffee
that.
cup. It's exactly like
Yeah.
it, and it is called World's Best Cup of Stout.
Oh,
Because
Yes,
it's
yes.
horchata. It's got coffee, vanilla, cinnamon, and can any see what that other ingredient there might be? Is what might be in there?
it's a little bit
Might,
blurred. It's a little blurred out for
Yeah.
us,
can
but
you
is
guess
it?
what might be in there? Any
Marshmallow.
guesses? All right, I think we have to go to. Oh, hey, Belgian Babe is here.
Wait.
What do you think is in here?
There's nutmeg in here.
That's right. There is nutmeg in this
Ah,
beer. That's part of the
finally,
horchata thing. It's coffee, vanilla,
Had to
cinnamon,
get it.
and nutmeg. So here we go.
finally. I've been
Thanks.
worried that
You go now. Thanks,
we didn't
Belgian
have
Babe.
enough.
All right, so
We didn't
here
have
we
enough
go.
nutmeg on this podcast. We really
We
didn't.
did not.
All right. Oh, it's a good pour. Good pouring sounds. That gets us the
It
ASMR
is.
rating too. And oh
I
wow,
think
you
yeah.
got a nice head.
Yeah, it's
that's
kind
what
of
she said.
Belgian-y. It's kind of popping out of the yeasty and jumping out of the can there.
There
Yeah.
we go.
I do love a beer jumping out of the can.
I love a good coffee stout in general, but I'm glad that this is like I didn't. I mean, to be completely full disclosure, I was at the grocery store a little earlier today, and I realized this is the last one I had, so I got another 4-pack. So that's how good it is. It's a really nice beer.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
This is a
so back
captain endorsed beer.
It is. It is. So back to the Pony Bar.
Yes, so we took a little a journey there yesterday, actually, just before we were the day before.
Yesterday was it 2 days
No,
ago?
it was 2 days ago. It was Monday.
All right. Yes.
Yes.
Taco Monday.
Taco Monday, exactly. Finest day of the week. Happy hour all day long and $2 tacos. It's always a good time. But we met one of the new bartenders there named Jess, who was pretty terrific. She pushed me towards a beautiful sort of very hoppy red ale from our friends at Trogs that was really lovely. And we got a little bit of dirt from her about another bar that we have enjoyed together and done quality control at, the Grand Delancey. Captain, you want to share a little about that?
Yeah, I don't think I'd qualify it as dirt, but it is definitely more information, and it's because to me it's an end positive result.
100%. Yes.
It's that the Grand Delancey. We might have mentioned this before that they have roots in the D.C. area, and so that means that through their connections there, they're able to get beers that other bars in New York City can't get.
Yes.
And so that's and also they have. I mean, we talked before about the amazing, and I know that's an overused word, but it was an amazingly curated selection of draft beers they have there. And some of them are ones like the RAR, however that's pronounced, maybe RAR, from that area. I've had some great beers from there, but that's the only place that I've really seen it in New York. Because that place, they can't, New York bars can't order directly from those breweries. However, if you have a place in DC, they can buy it and then send it to their other properties in other states.
That's true. Yes. So they're trucking beer up.
Yes. And we're the winners for that whole situation.
I know. Bless it. So, and Grand Delancey, such a cool space. We were talking about it as like, it's kind of underground. They don't get a lot of traffic. So it's pretty quiet many days is what Jess was explaining. Yes. And also kind of talking about
Beer Wonder is not being metaphorical there. It is literally underground. It's in the
it's literally underground.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's right down there. So it's kind of this like cool subterranean speakeasy-ish type place. And we were talking about both how like we want them to have more foot traffic so that they do well, but also like maybe not so much that it becomes full of people. So again, if you are a certified beer venger, which means you listen to this beer cast, which means anyone can become one, go to Grand Delancey and like support them. Check out their beer wall. Support all of your local breweries, but like they're kind of a cool place that's still quiet and has a great selection, and beers that you won't typically get here in the New York area because they've got that truckin' situation that's happening from DC. And of course, go to Pony because we all know excellent, excellent location, 420 to 620. Always got that good deal on beers. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
but wait a second.
The next time.
The Sahara has returned. It seems we have a desert in our midst.
We need need more moisture.
Speaking of beers you can't get in New York City, I have a beer. It comes from a little town a little further north of here. Maybe you heard of it, San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
this is called.
The locals all call it Frisco, don't they?
They do not. Unholy Ghost Black Lager. This is from a brewery called Laughing Monk, and usually the monk is laughing, but here he is. He may be still laughing, but he's laughing. It's an evil laugh. And so this
very
is
serious.
They make a lot of lagers, Belgian kind of styles, out of San Francisco. I've had a couple of them, and I have had this. I had it a few days ago, but I wasn't in the right state to try it. So let's. I was in California, but I've got my Mad Scientist.
Oh, I do like that Mad Scientist glass. It's a beautiful one.
From
good looking Schwartz beer.
Lazy Dog Beer Club, which I'm still a member. I forgot to cancel that.
Oh, they haven't kicked you out yet?
Oh, I should hold up the...
Yeah, let's look at them. Let's look at those. Yeah.
So pretty. Such a nice dark beer there. And a good head. A decent sized head on that.
Yeah. I think it's about 5%.
Okay.
Alcohol.
All right. Yeah.
Nice dark, like burnt coffee on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
It has a bit of almost like, you ever have one of those Belgian sort of style dark lagers?
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that, a little bitterness in the afterfeel, but nice. It's not very chocolatey, which I would expect. It's a little more, what's that? Like almost like molasses.
Okay.
Like
so kind of burnt, a little bit syrupy, caramelly,
like baker's chocolate or unsweetened chocolate. It's not very sweet, is what I'm saying, but I like it. It's not as great as my favorite, which is Death and Taxes from Moonlight, but yeah, very nice beer from San Francisco. Laughing Monk Brewing.
That little town.
Two new breweries today.
I know, changing lives. But it sounds like, Captain, there was far more moisture in your life in the month of January than there was in mine.
Well, yes, certainly. Obviously, there was the 2 times we met at the Pony, and then a couple days before our last episode, we met at the Beer and Cheese Collective, and that seems to be the only time we found to find each other.
Yes,
there were a couple things. Well, first of all, we all know that Globe Hopper has fully embraced his home brewing thing. That is
yes,
part of his identity.
He has. Aren't we lucky?
And he had some more beer ready to get done, so I needed to return some glasses. So I hung out with him at France's Tavern.
Very nice.
Getting back there. Yeah, it was perfect. He just said, "Let me meet you where you are," and I was just getting off work at the Statue of Liberty, and that's right there near the stop there. And it was just like 4 o'clock on a weekday, and it was much busier than I expected it to be. So I'm glad to see that they're doing well. I took another trip I had some time to kill last night. This is part of that we're all actors, and one of the things that I've been doing over the last few years is online readings, but I finally started to get back in person. And last night I had my first in-person reading. No audience except for the ones online, and apparently they couldn't hear us very well. But we're back into it again. And I had 2 hours to kill. I'm like, hey, City Point is right there. I'll just go down to... I actually went to both Craft and Carry and 6 Point. Only one beer at each location, so I could manage to, make it through the reading without slurring. But it was great.
As one does.
But I would say the highlight of my not especially dry January... it was like moist would be it was saturated. My saturated January was the Gun Hill. Yeah, the Gun Hill on they had their barrel aged festival on the 14th, You heard me talk
yeah.
about this last year, but I went again this year.
Yes.
Once again, tried to get some beer vendors to go with me, but everyone was busy, so I went by myself. Didn't even see
What
the happy
happens?
hour guys this year. But it was like, I'm sure Dave Lopez would have liked to add more people. By the way, it was great seeing him as well, the brewer at Gun Hill. But in addition to that, it was relatively, there were, I think, a few less breweries, but also a few less people there, which I kind of enjoyed that relaxing atmosphere. And they had a nice food truck there. Had some really really good beers. One of the most interesting ones was from Lock 27. They had this pumpkin beer. I'm going to see if I can read the
Huh.
name of it. It was called Lock O Lantern. This is Lock City is in. They're from Connecticut.
Yeah, Lock City. Yeah.
And it was a pumpkin ale aged in bourbon barrels. That's all it was listed as, but it tasted like wassail. And like had that like mulled wine kind of, or mulled cider kind of a taste to it, like a mulled pumpkin cider. I've
Cool.
literally it barely was in. I mean, I'm sure there was pumpkin in it, so the category wasn't the name wasn't misleading, but it was like no pumpkin beer I've ever had in my life, and it was
Wow.
great. And I
Wow.
said, because since Belgian Babe wasn't able to join me, we all know how much she loves the pumpkin stuff. I said,
Of course.
can I buy one of those cans from you? And they gave me one. Just gave it to me,
Oh,
which was really
Oh, that's
that's so
great.
sweet.
So yeah.
Well, I'm reading the description, and is Belgian Babe there? Because I think she may notice that.
You think there's a?
There's nutmeg in here.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
it's listed. It's listed.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
Yes.
goodness.
It also
I
says
thought-
roasted. It says it has roasted pumpkin in it, so
It was really. It was incredibly unique, really good beer.
yeah. It says a ginger, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, graham cracker, vanilla, honey, and roasted pumpkin. So
Oh my.
yeah, they
That's a
really,
whole
I
lot
guess
of beer
they
right
nailed
there.
it. I meant to go Lock City. That's basically tri-state area. Stanford is easy train ride
Yeah.
from the city.
I think the food truck was from them too. Had like this nice like smash burgers and fries. Really good stuff. Also, I mean, there were. I guess. Here I have the list. Since I still do, I remember that Lock City one because I brought that home with me, and I was able to refresh my memory. But some of my memory is a little vague. So if you want to shout out any breweries that you think might have been there, and I can tell you, what they had, and I'll see if I remember it at all.
I think KCBC was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask KCBC. Since we've already called them out today.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you know what?
Okay.
They were there, but I can tell you, I don't think I had this one. Here's the crazy thing about a barrel aged festival is that a lot of places were really good about thinking outside the box, outside of the stout and porter and barley wine categories. But since there were so many there, those are the ones that I was sometimes less likely to go for. But they had what they called their Sun Serpent, which is a 5% Saison aged on neutral oak with tart cherry and hibiscus.
Oh, wow.
So I'm sure he really smells. That was a wonderful beer. I don't think I had that one. But that sounds like a wonderful beer. And if you ever see it, put it in our comments. Let us know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to know if my friends at Innerborough were there. A brewery that I have not been to in a hot
Let's see.
Yeah.
Icarus, Jersey Cyclone. That's IC2J. So these are all in alphabetical order in case anyone's wondering. Yeah,
gotcha.
I do not see them listed on here. I did have a really nice one from Jersey Cyclone, though. That was the Snowtober, which is a 9% vanilla coffee milk porter aged in Buffalo Trace barrels. And the last I saw, did we mention on the last show that Gun Hill now has a new spot in Industry City? Because if we didn't, we should. What do they call it?
I don't think we did, but we should. Yeah. Yeah, the Public House. The Public House. It's very cool.
And since Gun Hill has a relationship with all these breweries, I read that they had a limited number of bottles of the Snowtober, which made me even more think I got to get out to see the Public House.
And Industry City is such a cool spot.
Yeah.
It is so great. Definitely.
Another one that I had a taste of, but I'm looking forward to having more of. Gun Hill had a new edition of a. Actually, I don't think this is an old one of theirs. I think it's a total new one. It's a Imperial Stout aged in Kings County Distillery bourbon barrels. It's called Comes the Night. and that's at 10%.
Mm.
So I actually got it. That was part of the VIP package. I got that, and I actually bought another one. And maybe the next time I have one of my Stoutapaloozas, I might actually have that bottle here.
Oh,
Now
that
I see.
sounds.
I'm looking at their list. Did you try the? Did they have the Spirit of 76 Pilsner in short contact in Sauvignon Blanc barrels?
So I see that on the list there. I don't think I had that one. If you notice, they had like 4 different ones, or then 5. Yeah, like so. If you look at that, the comes the night. They had the 2021 Fort Ticonderoga aged in rum barrels. They had a Void of Light aged in 4 Roses bourbon barrels. So I don't think I got to the Spirit 76.
How about our friends at Big Alice? Did you have their beer?
Yes, very
Ooh.
important.
You know, I think I had something from them that's not on the list, which means, of course, I don't remember what it is. Because the one they
I've
had
seen
listed,
their barrel room.
yeah. Well, the one they had was an American Wild Ale, 4.6%, aged in Blaufränkisch and barrels and Blaufränkisch Pommes. I think any moment, Beer Wonder is going to say Gesundheit to me because that's how he is with those sounds.
Okay,
I almost got there. I didn't sound quite like the sneeze I was looking for, though. So I'm just saying, do better next
okay.
time.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right.
How about Jack's Abbey? Did you have anything from Jack's Abbey?
Jack's Abbey?
Oh.
Yeah, wow. I feel like I should have, but I
stumping
don't
you.
see them on the list.
I might be looking at an old list. I don't know.
I'm looking at the 2023 list.
Oh, I'm looking at 2020. Never mind.
Okay. I was there 2022, 2023, but no, I was not there in 2020. But anyway, so lots of really great beers. So check out any of those, and also check out all of the Gun Hill stuff. Dave is doing some really great stuff with his expanding empire. You know, in addition to the new Gun Hill spot, Beer Wonder, isn't there a new Bronx brewery place in that weird little area with the weird sculpture with the what do they call it? Hudson Yards.
I believe so. Yes, they opened up
Oh.
a recent location as well. Yeah, but they're in. We know there's they have the South Bronx location, and we know they've got the one that we went to in the East Village. But I do
East
think they have a
Village,
third
right,
one,
yeah.
don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
opened it around
for
the
them.
same time that the Public House opened, I think. So these are
Yeah, I
kind of our 2.0 New Year's resolutions, talking about the places we want to go to as the new year progresses.
Yeah. Do you have any resolutions we should know about, Huck?
I never do.
Bands more.
I never do New Year's resolutions because my resolutions come to me by necessity.
Okay.
Whether it's a health reasons or I've been drinking too much or I've been smoking too much pot or whatever it is, then I have to change my life. So it doesn't matter that it's a new year. I don't, because something will happen this year where I'm going to have to make some changes or, so I just wait for it. I wait for it to come to me. I don't force the moment.
You don't seek it out.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, do I need to lose weight? Okay. Well, that might come up in April or,
right.
I mean, it's coming up now, but, or yeah, like, as you get older, there's all these, you have health concerns. So, you have to take care of yourself if you want to keep living.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Well, if you don't care, then we shouldn't get too dark here on the.
And that got we yeah.
It wouldn't be outside of our purview.
It wouldn't be the darkest we've ever gotten here. So.
No. Oh, speaking of the darkest,
all right, we're just gonna let that sit.
I did have a little bit of a huck up from last time. So
yes.
Please. Okay, please. Thank you.
I referred to the convicted rapist, overturned whatever, Bill Cosby. This convicted serial rapist.
Oh, that guy.
They let him out on a technicality, but he is a serial rapist. And I referred to say that like people who called themselves a doctor because they were just given an honorary degree.
Right.
She did mention, it was mentioned to me that that he did sort of earn one of them.
Okay.
But he also got it after he became famous, and the thesis was on Fat Albert. So, probably it wasn't that much of a struggle for it. So like once he got an official doctorate, then all the honorary ones started pouring in. I mean, he's got literally dozens.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just to be clear. All right.
But
that's good.
He did get it after he became famous. So, how legitimate that
We're all
is.
about transparency here at the Beer
Yes,
Avengers.
That's true.
but we also are not
Clarity and
about.
transparency.
We're also not about forgiving that raping piece of shit. So
Fair.
I think it's important. It's like, even if we're saying like, yeah, maybe he got a semi-legitimate doctorate, he's still a piece of shit.
Get our facts right. That's all.
Yes.
Get our facts
Oh
right.
gosh,
And
we
the
just
most
want to be
important fact
accurate.
that is he's a raping piece of shit. Yeah.
Just want to be accurate.
Yeah. Serial.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I think we killed it here on the old podcast today.
I think we've changed
Crushed
lives.
it for our
I think
fans.
I feel we've flooded them with information. I feel like they are all probably beyond damp or moist at this point. They're probably all just soaked in the glory of beer.
I won't blame it.
I know I am.
Yes, yeah. Although after that last subject, we're all a little drier. But yes. But I think. I should also say that here, on a much more positive sense. The last time we were on the show, the provider,
Yes.
formerly someone else,
Yep.
talked about the fact that Beer and Cheese Collective is back into doing tastings. They are,
Yes.
very much so. In fact, she said that she didn't think they'd have one in time for the 13th. In fact, they did.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
They had one, and that was I will remember who that was. Because I don't remember, because that was several weeks ago, and they had a second one since then, and they had a tasting from Citizen Cider last week.
right.
Cider Girl will be pleased.
Yeah.
Speaking
so
of Vermont,
keep watching the social media for the Beer and Cheese Collective, because if my math is right, they should have another one coming in about 5 days after the earliest you listen to this episode.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Things to look forward to. Then.
I don't think we announced this last week, but I noticed this, that the Beer Avengers now have a TikTok.
We do, yeah. In fact, you noticed that because the Beer Avengers TikTok friended your TikTok.
Yeah.
I think I told you that. I haven't figured out how to put anything on there yet. So if you want to do that.
Yeah, now, but importantly, if you want to go there, remember, it's a 4-syllable situation, not a 3-syllable situation. 4 syllables, okay?
4, but not
more than 3, not 5. Not 5, because the at is silent.
I'm taking a look. We have one follower.
Is their name Hophead Huck?
Yeah,
that's me.
Yes.
Okay, but it's there.
It is
in case we decide to put a video up. If you give it, remember at some point to give me the master key for that, and I'll put something up.
Huck, our social media influencer here.
And one last bit of thing I do want to mention.
Good. I'm just saying.
Yes. Is we were talking about Dave Lopez, who is on the board of who is the brewer for Gun Hill Brewery, and also on the board of the New York City Brewers Guild Association.
Yes.
They will be having their kickoff event to what I think is New York City Beer Week. Is that what we think that's kicking
Always
off?
a good. That's usually what they kick off, and that usually happens around the end of February, beginning of March. So yeah, absolutely, always a good time.
That is happening on February 25th. So you have plenty of time to get tickets for that. I know at least one, hopefully at least 2 of us will be attending that. We're looking forward to it. It's a New York City Brewers Guild event, but I think they also have a lot of guests from other places, and it should be a wonderful time.
Awesome, man.
It is always fun.
I don't know if I'll be able to visit all those other great places we were talking about in Industry City that day, because generally speaking, after several hours of unlimited tasting, I'm just ready to go home.
Yeah, it's time for a nap at that point.
Definitely.
Any attempt at dry February you will be having will be destroyed in that evening. So
I think we destroyed it over the last hour.
I agree. And honestly, Huck, I feel like with that, it's nap time for everyone. But would you do us?
You see, Teddy is over here. You see him.
I know he's telling us where we need to go. I'm just saying, but would you do us the distinct honor of playing us out?
As we said, follow us at the Beer Avengers, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Email us at thebeeravengers@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, everyone.
4 syllables. 4 syllables.
Except for the at. The at is a silent syllable. Is that what we're saying? I don't know. I'll play us out. Thanks, everyone.
With a beer Avengers, beer Avengers, beer Avengers.
We're the Avengers.